Trainee doctor at Kolkata's RG Kar Medical College and Hospital was brutally raped and killed. Now, disturbing details have emerged on the torture and brutality inflicted on her. This Kolkata horror reminds us of what happened to Nirbhaya in 2012. This is Kolkata's Nirbhaya. There's outrage and protests, and there's widespread frustration over police inaction. The Federation of Doctors has launched a nationwide strike urging a CBI inquiry. Now, the police have arrested a civic volunteer, Sanjay Roy. This arrested volunteer was accused in 2022 of thrashing his pregnant wife, but the police apparently let him go with a general diary noting. So what we are asking here is, why are laws not a deterrent against such brutal crimes? There were new laws that were brought in after the Nirbhaya case in 2012. Why have they not been effective in stopping such heinous crimes? To discuss this, I am joined by Advocate Abhijat, former Secretary of the Delhi High Court Bar Association, and my colleagues Anirban Choudhury from Kolkata and Sriya Kundu here in the studio with me. I want to start by asking you this, Sriya. You've been tracking this story very closely from the day it broke. Tell us, as a woman reporter, as a journalist who's also, you've probably been in college when the Nirbhaya case broke. What were your first impressions of this horrific case, what happened in Kolkata?
I mean, Sandeep, the very first thought was, the brutality with which this crime in fact has been conducted. The details just took us back to 2012. I mean, the laws that have come out, and now, and the worst part is, at this given point, the Chief Minister and there are other politicians who are coming up to say that, you know, we will hang the culprit. But at this given point, it's not even clear who the culprit is, whether in fact it is one culprit who's already been arrested or it is multiple culprits. And the saddest part is, Sandeep, the post-mortem report that's been released, the injury, shards of glasses from her spectacles having been inside her eyes, belly injury, marks of strangulation on her neck, her lips and eyes, all cut.
Absolutely.
Extremely horrific details that we have in fact received. And it only at this given point, as a woman and as a journalist at the same point, there's just one word for it: deep-seated rage about what exactly has gone down. And the probe at this given point, yes, it's been going on, but there are so many questions and the murky details that is coming up with regards to this particular case. Who all were involved, that is just the tip of the iceberg, you know, because now there are questions of a racket coming up.
Yes.
Because now it's coming to the front that it was a planned attack by these culprits who in fact inflicted such brutal crimes against her. And these are the details that we are now getting, that there is a possible racket that was going, which the hospital authorities were also aware of, but they never took any action. And things culminated to such a point that this woman here, this young trainee postgraduate doctor, had to lose her life in such a horrible, brutal way. Horrible, brutal way.
The words escape imagination when it comes to describing this heinous crime. And I'm going to ask Anirban Choudhury this. Anirban, you've also been tracking this story very closely in Kolkata. It's unbelievable that you could have a crime of this nature in Kolkata, West Bengal, where women are given such a high place in society. The Chief Minister of West Bengal is a lady. Across the border in Bangladesh also, you have women politicians there. Why is it that despite all of this, the high standards of women in society in West Bengal, despite all of this, you have this kind of a crime taking place in the heart of West Bengal, in Kolkata?
Sandeep, the horrific part of the story is that this did not happen at a desolate corner of some street or some jungle.
Absolutely not.
It happened right in the hospital premises where the doctors are supposed to be feeling super safe. And it did not happen in a ward. It happened in the seminar room where the doctors stay there, they take their rest, go for their on-call duties. So, as you said, as Shreya also suggested, so this incident, it's not one of its kind in India, but it is, it has spread horror, disgust, and anger throughout the and breadth of the society. And it's time the government, the police officials, they really woke up. And I know you said, we call ourselves the Bengalis,
Yes.
a progressive, intellectually accomplished society. But if this
Right.
incidents happen, I'm not sure whether our this pride of Kolkata, which gives a lot of an importance, Ma Durga, it's the land of Ma
Yes,
Durga, and
absolutely.
what's happening to us? We have to ask ourselves, Sandeep.
Right, absolutely. Very important observation there, Anirban, that the land of Ma Durga and a woman chief minister of West Bengal who's ruled the state for so many years. It happens on her watch. But the first impression that we got when we read about these shocking details of the cases, oh my God, this is Nirbhaya all over again. And that is one case that jolted India like no other case has, and possibly led to the kind of protest that we saw after that, which then snowballed into this India against corruption case. It basically turned into a political movement where you had civil society hitting the streets. But I want to ask Advocate Abhijat this question, that Advocate Abhijat, the Nirbhaya killers were given exemplary punishment. 4 of them were hanged. The entire criminal procedure code was rewritten after this. Crimes against women were made, punishable with death. Why is it that despite all of this, we have a case like this happening, not just in some isolated corner of West Bengal, but in the heart of Kolkata, in a hospital, and this kind of brutality is inflicted on a doctor in a medical college in Kolkata?
After the Nirbhaya case, the Criminal Law Amendment Act of 2018 came into being, where the definition of rape was widened, stalking, voyeurism,
Yes.
even penetration by digits was included in the definition of rape, where rape resulted in death or reducing the victim to a vegetative state. Minimum 20 years of imprisonment was prescribed. But you must appreciate one thing, that crimes like these, dastardly, violent, absolutely ghastly crimes like this, are committed by beasts. These people are not really human beings, and there can't be any deterrent to a beast committing a crime. They have absolutely no fear of the consequences. And perhaps, from what I gather in the media, the accused did gather Dutch courage by consuming heavy quantities of alcohol just before committing that incident.
Yes.
So, there, in my respectful submission, though laws are designed, calculated to be deterrents, crimes like these are committed by extremely depraved people who are not deterred by law or the consequences which face them. In this case, I hope the laws are used to plug any loopholes that the investigation may have, and also to effect speedier, efficient prosecution and bringing justice to the victim and her family.
Absolutely. These crimes are committed by extremely depraved individuals, Shreya. There's no doubt that the people who carried this out were extremely depraved. But again, the question is that in Kolkata, in the heart of the city, a city that's deemed safe for women. You're from Kolkata. Tell us what it's like being a woman from Kolkata. What does it mean for the safety of women in this city, which has always upheld the right of women?
The unfortunate part is I am from Kolkata myself, and in fact, just 2 days back, when this incident came to light, my parents called me up, and we were having a conversation about this, and my mother actually expressed this concern as to how after this incident, because Sandeep, this incident has taken place at one of the biggest medical colleges, one of the most crucial medical colleges in the heart of the city. At this point, and I don't know if this is the sentiment that women out there in Kolkata will be sharing with me, but this was a conversation I had with my mother. It really concerns us to now be able to go to a junior doctor again, to be able to, approach a junior doctor again because we still aren't sure. There is news about the culprits being interns from this particular batch of students. So if indeed they are the ones who committed this crime. They are the
right.
perpetrators.
Right.
And as in fact Advocate Abhijat was just mentioning, while yes, the person who's in fact been arrested, he does come from not, probably not a very high class committee, but
yes.
the people, the audio clips that have gotten viral,
right.
they suggest very otherwise. They suggest that there are people who are very highly connected who are involved in such a crime. So at this point, the confidence of women, the fact that even in the past, till the past couple of years, we could hold our head high and just go out in the city,
right.
that is not something we would be able to do anymore. It would,
right.
it would make me think twice if and the problem here is, it's not happening at a time when, you know, people, the society makes us believe that the streets are not safe
right.
for a woman. She was in a seminar hall in a college. That is extremely important to understand here. It is the hospital administration's responsibility at this given point to take the responsibility of the safety of the students who are studying there. And the problem here is, it is being said that this very student had expressed concerns about
yes.
about her life being under threat to her parents right before this incident was in fact inflicted upon her.
I'm going to ask this question that you raised, Sriya, to Dr. Rohan Krishnan, the chairman of the Federation of All India Medical Associations, who just joins us. Dr. Rohan, who is to blame really in this horrible, heinous crime, as Sriya was just telling us? A doctor in the heart of one of the most prestigious medical colleges in Kolkata, raped and murdered in the manner that we last saw possibly in the Nirbhaya case in 2012. Who's to blame here?
I think that it is the onus of the state government and the complete failure and embarrassment for Mamata Banerjee as a female chief minister for providing security and safety to the doctors. As you guys are already aware that this doctor was working in one of the
yes.
topmost medical colleges of West Bengal in the heart of the city, and she was being assigned 36 hours duty. Now
yes.
the onus also comes upon the health secretary, the health minister, the principal and superintendent of the colleges, because why there was no CCTV camera installed, why there were no separate washing room for females, why there was no doctor's duty room for the female, why at night if you are putting someone for a 36 hours of duty
yes.
and you are not giving them basic facilities, then obviously the entire system has failed completely, and it is an embarrassment for all of us.
Right.
Apart from that, we cannot escape from this from the central government point of view, that from a long time there has been a demand that we need a central protection law for protection of the healthcare workers. Where is that law being enacted in during the COVID period? It has taken a slow pause when it was supposed to come to the parliament even 1 or 2 years ago, but it has not come till now. So I think that the onus is on the government, both state and central, and on all of us, that if something like this has happened, I'm not going to comment whether doctor has done, engineer
yes.
has done, IS has done, whosoever has done.
Right.
The synchronicity of the investigation was lost on the very first day when students had to do protest to get the post-mortem done.
Absolutely.
And initially they were claiming it like as a suicide.
Absolutely. That's the most shocking part of this case, Dr. Krishnan, and the fact that it was not just a doctor who was murdered, but it was a woman who was murdered right in the heart of the city, as we've been discussing. But, you know, Anirban, coming back to the question of the safety of the doctor, as we've been discussing, in this prestigious medical college, why were there no CCTVs over there? Why were the perpetrators not picked up the minute they entered that place? And why have the police not been able to follow up? Why several days after this case, we're still debating, you know, in this day and age, in 2024, 21st century, 1/4 of a century has elapsed, and we are still talking as though it is some 19th century case that who done it. We should have known by now if there had been CCTV cameras installed there. Why are these CCTV cameras missing in this hospital, as Dr. Krishnan was mentioning?
Yeah, but Sandeep, there was a CCTV camera, but it was a very half-hearted measure where we can see right. This Sanjay Roy walking in, walking out, but the camera system was not enough to detect the basic entry of people who were involved or the person who was involved.
Possibly
So
not enough cameras then. That's what you're saying.
Not enough cameras.
Not
It
enough
was
CCTV cameras.
Just a half-hearted measure.
Right.
But the important point that has been raised, Sandeep, is that fine, a person is a pervert who stalks a woman who does something heinous. Okay, but where would a person get? That is where the administration, where the college authorities come. How could a civic police get that courage to walk up to the doctor's section,
yes,
get into a place which is supposed to be secure for the doctors, safe for the doctors, commit a crime and walk out? He drinks, he goes there, commits a crime, he returns, and he has another drinking session outside. He is so happy, and he does such a smooth operation without any hindrance and without any remorse. I mean, think of the kind of mentality he has been given, the authority he has been given by the hospital authorities or our society, that he can walk in smoothly, walk out smoothly, and have another drink session. That is the concerning part. So we don't have any prevention system. We don't have any check and balance system. That is what we need to do right now. Why would a doctor do a night duty? Because, I'll tell you,
yes,
Sandeep, another piece of information that might be interesting to you. We talked to the gentleman who was supposed to get married to the lady this December.
Yes.
So this gentleman said that she was been complaining to us. She was complaining to me that I don't want to go for night duty. I don't want to go for night duty. There must have been something smelt by the lady beforehand, which we need to find out. We are trying to find out. The gentleman did not speak much. Of course, he's in a state of shock. So this is important. Why a lady doctor is uncomfortable going for a night duty? What is the reason? These are the questions as journalists we need to ask.
These are the questions that we need to ask, and indeed we're asking those questions. But Advocate Abhijat, do you actually see anything coming out of this now in terms of the law? I mean, what do we need to do to make such events, such incidents, a thing of the past? What can we do to deter? Is there any loophole that has not been closed legally?
Loopholes are always on a case-to-case basis. The investigation must be honest and efficient, and with a lot of stress on forensics, which probably would be lost by now. All the forensic indications and evidence would have been lost by now. But the investigation should be efficient, it should be state-of-the-art, the prosecution must be dedicated and sincere, and the case after the charge sheet has been filed should be fast-tracked. And this is the only way you can, once there are convictions and people are awarded maximum penalties available in law for these dastardly crimes, then I'm sure there would be some people who will get deterred. But I have my doubt whether, and I repeat myself, whether animals like these can ever be deterred by any law. Only that the law can be used to give justice to the family of the victim, so that there is a sense of closure.
It's a dark day in our lives, indeed, this the Kolkata case. And Advocate Abhijat, I must disagree with you on that one part that you call them animals. I don't think animals do this kind of brutality.
Just a figure of speech.
It's just absolutely. It is humans who whether it's in India or it's in Australia, that horrible case that came to light recently of this absolutely depraved individual who was torturing animals for his sadistic pleasure. This is the kind of brutality that only humans can inflict on each other, and that's the story that we are tracking closely today. It's this horrific story of Kolkata's Nirbhaya, a case that's taken us back into 2012, 12 years ago, that horrific case that shook us all as Indians, as residents of Delhi, and we thought that it would never happen again, but we've been disproved once again in Kolkata. But thank you very much, Advocate Abhijat, my colleague Anirban Choudhury and Sriya, for joining us on the News 9 Plus show.